Hey everyone, it's your guy KINDAFYEE. Hello. This is pretty impromptu, but today I'm just gonna be taking you through some of my practice maps, some of my aim training and practice maps before I get into a sweaty game or want to play really good. And I'm just gonna lead you through it. Nobody really asked for this, but a couple of people say I have really good aim, and I believe I have good skill. So anybody who wants to kind of just go through my method of it can learn. So I've done this video like 6 times and changed how I've done it, so we're just gonna go right through it. Okay, first you're gonna go to long range, snipe, and then free play, so it's not on a timer. I'm probably not gonna talk through this whole thing, but you're just gonna start off wanting to shoot the enemies, get the best type of line of sight on the enemy as possible. A couple of good ways to do this are there are 3 methods with the red dot. First being when you aim down sight, look at the target through the red dot. That means whenever you aim down sight and scope in, literally zoom your eyes in as the gun does, if that makes sense, so that you're a little bit more locked on and focused onto your target. The second method toward the red dot is looking past the dot and looking at the enemy behind it. And I'll go more into detail with this, especially with other guns, but looking down, seeing the black figure, seeing the black figure behind the dot and focusing on that rather than just shooting the gun. The third method, which is actually a lot easier, is just to move with the enemy as you shoot the gun. Instead of just shooting it, and if you don't hit, keep firing, adjust the gun with the movement of the player. And it's a really easy fix that is super simple that a lot of people don't do. Okay, next, get the fastest shotgun you can in the game, which right now is the combat shotgun. Just get some good target practice, get used to locking onto the enemies, getting adjusted with your fingers and moving on to them. Do this at your pace. This is just a tutorial, not a step-by-step. Then you're going to want to get an SMG and do the same thing. Just get used to shooting the enemies. And now I'll teach you a good trick now for using the SMG. Holding the SMGs down, whether it's a SMG or a pistol, is going to get you a kill, but if you tap fire the gun as if to make it a burst, it will kill the enemy twice as fast. And this is something that I've used every single game I've played since I've learned it, and it's a really, really big helping factor. So tap the gun as fast as you can as if you're trying to burst fire it, and I promise it'll make a result. Okay, next thing you're going to want to practice with is the slowest shooting and most powerful gun. Right now it's the Havoc shotgun. Now you cannot hold this down when you aim at an enemy. It's going to be too slow, it's not going to work. So you could, and you have the option to burst fire it, right, or hip fire it, which is just not aiming down sight. But what I want to show you is a really, really good method of doing this, getting the kill every time. So hip firing gets fine with any gun, but it's not the most accurate. What you want to do is when you aim down sight, a lot of people will do what I'm doing now, which is just aim down, give it a quick second, and shoot. That takes a little bit too long in some situations. So what you're going to do, you're going to look down sight, and you're going to try to as fast as you can, so make it quick, to go down sight and shoot the gun, almost as if you were going to hip fire, lining the gun up in the sight, and then just sort of quick scoping the enemy with the shotgun, if that makes sense. So just get adapted to this, practice this, kind of quick scope the shotgun, get it lined up with the enemy as if you were going to hip fire it, and just get used to, you know, hitting it that kind of way. It's hard to explain, but it makes a really, really big difference. So yeah, do this. And then, of course, the more you do it, you're going to get acquainted, which I'll do this in a different video, with movement, but you're going to want to get it acquainted with movement and just adapting to using this method of quick scoping with the shotgun and just putting it into your normal everyday gameplay of how you maneuver around bullets and through multiple enemies. But it's great, great practice. And so what I just did is the best combo you can do in game. and I have a bunch of clips and a bunch of fights if you play with me that I use this on. A quick scope with the shotgun, and then an immediate follow up with the SMG, which is, you know, tap firing it, like I said, to make it a burst, will almost guaranteed either get you the kill or get them low enough to get the kill upon reload. And it's guaranteed. Hit with the shotgun, finish with the SMG or pistol. It doesn't matter what shotgun, what SMG you have, all of it's interchangeable. If you can't get the finish with either one of those, just grab whatever else gun you have and shoot it. Or if you're safe enough, get the reload. But shotgun, SMG, practice that, use this map. This is the first part of everything. Use that to your discretion. I'll put all of the kind of notes that I have inside the description of this video, and then also the map code and everything. On to the next one. This is the new map that nobody has seen, that I love, that I'm super proud of. And so again, I'll put the map code inside the link description, as well as the breakdown of what I'm talking about inside of here. And yeah, let's let you see it. Let me just note also that I have made notes and prepared for this, but I'm super unprepared, so definitely check out the description if I miss anything, because I do have more to say. Okay, so go ahead and grab all of this chapter's guns. I like to get the best 2 shotguns, best 2 SMGs, and a long range, which is either the DMR, the red dot, or a sniper. I practice with all of it. And there are a bunch of different options of gameplay you can do inside of this. I usually like to pair my guns from going from long range to short range, SMG, pistol, whatever, then shotgun, then on the last 2 slots, and here I have the other guns, but usually it'll then go heals and then something else for mobility, or vice versa. Okay, so first one you want to start off with is target switch. This one is simple. Turn off timer on almost all of these exercises, and you're gonna be able to see your score summary, how many kills you get. Go ahead and get into it. This one's literally just enemies moving all around you, so you're just gonna want to start off usually with the shotgun, so you can get used to moving your fingers a little bit if you're on controller. But you're just gonna want to move with the enemies, try to get used to, you know, keeping the crosshair of the gun with them. And this is sort of what I was talking about more earlier with the red dot, which is seeing the enemy behind the crosshair. So not just looking at them and shooting, but kind of having to see them through the scope of the gun first before you shoot, which is what makes the difference. And I really wish I could make it more detailed or more clear what I'm talking about, but if you see, you see. So you practice that with the shotgun, you grab out your SMG, you practice that. Tap fire it, of course, which is always the best method, and just get used to finding the enemy as soon as they spawn, as soon as they come up. And just like in a fight, if anyone worked a third party, come join the fight, you know, be able to try to get the first shot on them possible and do the most damage as soon as, you know, absolutely possible. And so just get used to that, practice that. This is the only time I would recommend aiming down sight with the combat shotgun, just to try to get used to, you know, aiming down and doing it, because it's a little bit harder and more difficult to challenge yourself. Okay, and also you can emote to get out of any of these exercises. Next up is the shotgun practice. Turn off the timer. I think I'll do that last. Turn off wall retake. And you're gonna go to Sentry Frenzy, press play. This is just basically what you just did. The enemies are just standing still, so, you know, practice, see how well you can adapt to lining up to the enemies. This one's a little bit better with, of course, trying to get headshots and such, doing the most damage possible. So, you know, do this at your pace, but try to get faster whenever you do it. Take as much time as you need. Either do this all in one day, or in different days, it doesn't matter. Okay, this is what I'm talking about with aiming down sight. It's a little bit harder, but if you want the challenge and if you want to see if you're really progressing, do it with the combat shotgun. This is the only time in practice that I would recommend aiming down sight. I do this with the SMG as well, just to make sure I'm good. This doesn't take many hits at all, so just tap fire it, tap, 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 and just get used to getting onto the enemies. Literally, this is all aim training. It's very, very good for hand-eye coordination, and as much as it may look like it's not doing anything, I swear to God it will make a difference inside of a fight. It will, and I don't know if I need to put clips or whatever to show you, but yeah. Now also do note, this map does give you XP. So like these sentries, I don't know how much XP they give you each, but you do get kill credit as if it were a real enemy every kill. So if you stay on here and do this for 20 minutes, you'll probably level up 2-3 times. Okay, next one we're gonna go to is we just press react instead of sentry. And then here is where you get a little bit good of shotgun practice when you first see the enemy, which is kind of what we tried, just finding the enemy and then, you know, locking on to them. So it's a direct correlation just in real time. I do that with the combat, and then the Havoc shotgun, which is again practicing the kind of quick scope method with it. And this one I usually don't stay on too long. It's just to make sure that I actually did learn anything from what I just did. Okay, emote to go back to the main thing, and then here is the best thing you can do. It's just like on the island. Go to free play, and here you have all the freedom to do as many enemies as you want and practice the way that you want to kind of maneuver, find your way in and out of fights, practice targets close and long range. So if you do anything else, stay on this map the longest. And just practice, get whatever guns you need, whatever guns you want. And the good thing about these AI compared to the one on the last little map thing, aim training, is these ones do damage, and there are a lot more. So, you know, do it how you want, maneuver how you want, but get a good practice. I very, very much encourage you to get very good at the Shotgun SMG combo here. That's what I'm practicing. You're not always going to hit every shot, but that's the reason you're practicing. So just try to adapt to this. Try to get used to being in combat, especially with multiple enemies, because although it may not be super realistic in game, when you actually do need to do it, it's very, very helpful and useful. So try to hit your shots, try to, you know, keep the crosshair of every gun on the enemy, look behind them, and then get good at that. So practice that, do that the most. Okay, and to see if you really progressed at moving on to the enemies, especially multiple, this one is really good for you. I do this one the second most. It's aim duels. You're gonna go onto the enemy, and this guy moves so much, so much. So just do your best. I encourage you to do the shotgun SMG combo here as well, but just do your best to stay onto the enemy, do the quick scope, and just try to get as much damage as you can on him. He has way too much HP. If you sit still, he will kill you. So try to keep moving, try to stay constantly moving, and just do your best to you know, lock onto him and see if you can adapt. This one is not easy. I don't think it'll be easy for anyone. So, you know, after you do the free play and you want to know if you made a difference or if it really shows, this is where it will show. So try this out. This is a lot of fun, and it's very, very good for warming up your hands and getting you to move quickly. And so I'm pretty sure we're progressing on to the very, very last thing that I have to show you, which is what, when I come onto the game and I want to do a quick warm-up session, is my go-to method. You're going to go to BoxFight. I'm not a builder at all, so we're on 0 builds. That's what we're talking about. You turn off builds, and you're going to put as many enemies as you want. I only recommend 2. Right now I'm doing 1 because 1 is easiest. And this is where you're just going to do a quick method of, if you come onto the game, you just want to get a quick warm up. You come in, people are going to keep spawning. Just get used to coming onto the target. Pause, Jesus. Get used to locking onto the target with any gun you like. I recommend SMG shotgun, of course. Also red eye here. It's not a bad option. I just don't show everything in the video. I've done this video like 26 times. I'm not kidding. Yeah, just practice everything you've learned. Your hands, if you do this all at once, should be plenty warm, plenty active and moving. This should be no problem at all, but just get used to following the enemy the best you can, tap firing the guns that you have, quick scoping the shotguns. I do recommend, I didn't do it in this video, but if you grab a combat shotgun and you jump around with it, shoot the enemies, jumping around shooting the enemies with the combat shotgun will get you very, very good in your hands as far as moving and aiming wise. And so that's just about it, guys. But if you try this, let me know what you think. I'd appreciate it.